So guys, so there's this. This is this young man is actually, believe it or not, this dude is not too far from my age. And as you can see, if you've been paying attention, he has been involved with this young girl, Naziah, who is presumed gone. She is presumed no longer with us. So they're looking for her body at this point. But he impregnated her, and now she's gone, and he's up for trial on this whole situation. And I wanted to come on here and because I just feel like our community, man, like, and maybe this goes beyond our community, but we got to do something about avoiding these situations. You know, we got to do something about avoiding the Pookies and the Ray Rays. And I guess so. I guess this is mostly for the ladies. Uh, you can use some of this information to avoid people, I guess women like this, but this is mostly for the ladies because we got to look out for the babies. You know what I mean? You got to look out for the babies. So I got to talk to the ladies right now because this is for the single moms that are vetting men to be in their homes. And you got to avoid these Pookies and Ray Rays. I don't care if they can put it down like nobody's business. You got to pay attention. So even some of y'all might be tuning in like, well, what is a Pookie and Ray Ray? It's basically a guy who really don't got much going for themselves, and they're a leech. So you can apply that probably to any race, but in the black community, we call them Pookies and Ray Rays. I don't know what y'all call them. But if you got a name for them, put them in the chat. I mean, yeah, put them in the chat, put them in the comments. But yeah, that's what we call them over here. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you look at this guy, I mean, he looks like, I don't know, a cross between Chris Brown and Nipsey Hussle. Okay. And those are very good looking guys. And if you look at the women he entertained, as far as baby mamas, I think he had a wife too. Um, to me, it was obvious that they were targets. That's the best way to put it. They were targets. So, even as a man myself, I feel like I'm a pretty decent looking guy, but I have been approached by women, and you gotta pay attention to your environment, everything. I've been approached by women before, and I felt like it was a setup, and it probably was because the woman it was like a couple of women at the time, and I was in my car. I was downtown. I live in the Detroit area, so I was downtown Detroit at Belle Isle, and it was a popular place to go at the time for black folks to meet up and have a good time. And I was down there with a couple of my boys, and we were in the car, and we got flagged down by a few young ladies, and they were cold. You know what I mean? And I pulled over, and something just didn't feel right. Something did not feel right, and it wasn't crowded. It wasn't a lot of people out there. Essentially, it was just a sprinkling of people, and me, my boys, and these young ladies that was flagging us down. And they didn't look like strippers or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was the 90s. So, like, they just looked good. But something didn't sit right with me. So I looked beyond them. I looked beyond them. I guess there's a message in there. I looked past them and beyond them, and I saw um, what appeared to be three young men walking up a hill because the way Belial is, there's grass, and then like if you're on the road driving around the island, there's grass, and then there's water. Well, just before you get to the water, there's a drop off. So somebody could be standing down there near the water and you can't see them. But as they walk up, you start to see them coming up this hill. I saw three guys casually walking up. They weren't running. They didn't have masks on. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look threatening, but I already knew what time it was. So I punched the gas and got the freak out of there. So sometimes you got to look past the looks of a person and really try to get to know them. Men struggle. We do that. We have to do the same thing when it comes to women. We got to look past the looks and get to know the character. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is, unless and this is my personal opinion, it's ordained by God. And if it's ordained by God, you will know because you will do your due diligence, and this person will exude fruits of labor instead of just nonsense. Okay. So if he's super good looking and you feel like you hit the jackpot, just saying, pay attention, ladies. If he's super good looking and you've never dated a guy on this level before as far as looks go, you should be looking beyond looks as a lady. Looking for looks, honestly, is something that men do for women, but there's a level of attractiveness that needs to be there. So I get it. But if it's, I'm just saying, pay attention. If it looks too good to be true, dig deeper, look beyond what you're looking at. Like my situation with those young ladies, I had to look beyond those beautiful women to see what was coming, and you have to do the same. um, Treat your new relationship like you're hiring someone to house sit with your newborn and 100K in a safe. That's the best way I can tell you. That's the best way I can tell you. Interview them, question them about scenarios, question them about their past, get to know friends. This is all supposed to be happening during the dating process, not just the first date, right? That'd be a lot during the dating process. And I would say within a few weeks, definitely a month, you should have gathered enough intel. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what you got to do. You should gather enough intel to determine whether this is a person that's a good fit for your life. If you do bring them around your kids, just one interaction or something, ask them if they feel creeped out or anything about it. You know what I'm saying? That's something to think about. You have to, history matters. History matters. People don't want to, well, that was my past, this and that. That's true. But where are you today from your past? And what kind of past did you have? Because I do agree with giving people second chances and things like that. But, if you killed a couple of people in your past, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a person. I'm just saying that person ain't me. That's all I'm saying. So you got to really make some decisions. And if these people are on um, the S offenders list, you really need to determine if that's a type of person that are they really reformed or whatever? And do you want to have this person around your freaking kids? There's plenty of people out here. You do not have to date people who have um, these types of histories that could potentially be dangerous for your family, right? Somebody who maybe, got caught in a stolen car because they homeboy stole a car and they were 16 at the time, who knows? That's up to you. But some of these crimes, for me, I have a daughter. I do not want her dating anybody that has that's on the S offenders list. I don't want her dating anybody that's been to jail. Period. Prison, I don't care. I don't want to date them. I just don't want it. And if I don't want that for her, I don't want it for y'all. So you got to interview them like you're hiring them to be a part of something special because they are. They're going to be around your children. They're going to be around your young girls. They're going to be around your young boys. You have to know what kind of person you're dealing with. Listen to your kids. Listen to them. You know, if your kids are telling you that somebody's being inappropriate, you don't have to, go get the gun, right? You don't have to do that. But you ask questions, dig deeper, find out what happened. What do they mean by inappropriate? Use your words. Words matter. How do they act when this person's around? How do they act when you tell them that this person is coming around? Pay attention to your kids. Um, my girlfriend, she has a teenager. That's a daughter, right? That's her daughter. She has a teenager, and I am very conscious about how I carry myself around this young girl. You know, there will be times, me and my lady will be chilling and I'll have my shirt off. I'll be at her place, right? I got my own house and everything like that, but my lady prefers I come over there. So I go over there, and sometimes, it'll be just me and her. Her daughter will be out hanging out with friends. She's older, so she's late teens, but she's like technically an adult. So she'll be out with her friends. Summertime. I'm chilling with my lady. I might have my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Because I woke up, put some pants on. Always put pants on, right? And what the heck just happened? I always put my pants on, man. So um, hanging out. So not hanging out. I'm sorry. So I lost train of thought because my computer just went dark for whatever reason. But yeah. So, but if I hear her come into the house, if I hear her come out of her bedroom, I'm putting a shirt on. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like I work out. I have an okay physique. I'm putting the shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, well, do you walk around with your shirt off at home? You know, because I have a daughter, right? And my boy, and I have two sons. Yeah. But when my daughter has a friend come over, she be like, and I don't know that her friend's in the house, right? So she be like, Dad, put a shirt on, right? Because I don't play that. You got to understand, man, like all that stuff can be inappropriate behavior. Now, setting matters too, right? Settings matter too. So, like, if all of us went to the beach, that'd be one thing. But I still don't. I still kind of watch how I interact, even then, if I'm on a beach. But if you're on a beach, you're on a beach. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. But if you always walking around the crib in your drawers, and this person is always walking around the crib in their drawers, or they always walking around with no shirt on, that's not good. I'm just being real. I don't care what anybody has to say. You should have a level of, um, just understanding what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. You should have some level of discernment when it comes to these things, man. Like you should be concerned because I know here's the thing: people get caught up in their own thoughts in their own mind, and we like, I'm a good person. I'm not. I don't have ill intent. That's great. But now ask yourself a question. As a dude, ask yourself a question: would you want a man with your daughter walking around in his boxers and no shirt on, or walking around in his boxers, well, his jeans with no shirt on? Would you want that? Ask yourself those questions. What's the other thing? Being inappropriate. So when it comes to this beautiful young girl, Nazaya, I'm very protective when it comes to kids. If your kids are around me, they are my kids. I'm their dad. And they are under my protection and my protective watch at all times. Like I teach Bible class at church, and those kids, I love those kids. And if somebody were to come down there, I tell them that too. If somebody were to come down there, they got to deal with me. If somebody were to come down there and try to harm them, they would have to deal with me. I would tell them that because I wanted them to understand. There would be times, the class would get out of hand and things like that, and they all getting silly, and I'd have to get the stern voice. And I know they, I'm a pretty silly guy, so they all get like, oh my gosh, Brother Bell is like he's freaking out, and I would just tell them like, no, it's time to get serious. We're talking about Christ and things like that. So, you know, be be respectful. I've never given you a reason not to be respectful. And then I would tell them, like, if somebody came down here right now, you better believe I would protect them. So right now you're under my supervision. And if something were to happen to you, you better believe your parents would be like, where were you? So I'm always very protective of children. This story touched my heart so heavy, man. So heavy. And I know this stuff happens every day, but when it's around the corner from you or when it's close by, um you have a daughter or you have children and you can relate to this stuff, it's like it hits home. It hits home. And listening to, oh my gosh, listening to the text messages that she would send him, um and vice versa, it was enraging and disheartening and heartbreaking. Like a 13-year-old talking like this, where did she get it from? And all I could think the whole time, me and my girlfriend was like just going back and forth with this. And it's like, how is this possible? Right. Like if you go through any of these cases and watch any of these videos, you will see that she just wanted to be loved and cared for. The house she stayed in had like five other kids in it. She stayed with her grandmother or her aunt or something like that. And apparently she was just being neglected. If you ask me, it looks like this person took on kids just for the sake of getting money or assistance. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she really cared about him because, and that they may come for me for saying that, but clearly, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? How did they have such a carry on such a relationship going under anybody's nose? I'm in my daughter's business. Whoever she around, I want to talk to the parents you're gonna be around. I want to know who all gonna be at the house. I want you to be able to name all these fools off. I do not play, and my kids know that. All my friends know that, and shoot, my friends are the same way. My friends are the same way. There is nothing lighthearted about this. If this dude was my homeboy, I would tell him we cannot be friends anymore. We cannot be friends anymore, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I would just let that be. Like, I don't see how people be friends with people like this and let stuff go. So apparently he touched a kid um um in the beginning of the in not the beginning of the relationship, but he touched a kid that belonged to this family. That kid told them, yo, he touched me inappropriately. And the aunts wanted to call the police. They heard, but the baby mama didn't. I'll handle it. I'll handle it. And basically prioritized him over her baby, over whoever this family member was that said this. And I don't think that's right. Like, you should not be prioritizing anybody over the safety of children, especially if those children are yours. You should not be doing that. So look, vet your people, get to know these men, and listen. Here's the other thing: if you're talking to a man and you go to his Facebook profile or his Instagram or his freaking what's the other one, Twitter account, or what's it called now, X, so stupid. If his YouTube account and his money is like money bag yo tie, or you know D dog get to the money, or you know what I'm saying, like get rich or die trying Jordan. I'm just saying, man, like these to me, because I know a lot of decent guys, and none of them have these names. These are silly names, and these be grown men. This dude is 47. These are grown men. If you're a grown man, if you are over the age, I would say 25, it's time to let them silly names go. But if you're over the age of 25 and you get to the bag rich, if you more money, Deontay, you know what I'm saying? Taking pictures with spreads of money and things like that. Leave these fools alone, man. I'm gonna say this to a particular type of woman. If you are the type of woman that you have a decent job, because I think these women had pretty decent jobs, you know what I mean? But if you got a decent job and you really looking to have something for your life, if you're looking to really build a decent life with somebody, if you're not like, a stripper looking for a rapper, right? That type of thing. But if you're the type of woman that's really looking for something decent, I'm telling you, avoid these freaking money bag yo Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, avoid these guys, man. This is stupid. Like, what kind of grown man has a name like that? For real. Here's the funny thing: people with money don't. Like, rich people do not have email addresses like that. They don't. People that are trying to do something with their lives don't have these weird names. Now, if you're an entertainer, I ain't talking about you. You're an entertainer. But this guy was a freaking mechanic and a felon and an ex-convict, and he's on the freaking S offenders list. So yeah, it's a lot of things here that we could take from this to be like, yeah, this ain't the one for me. Okay. Now, according to the young lady in court, she said the I think it was his baby mama slash wife, whoever she is, because the guy has a ton of women, and he got a ton of kids too. According to her, she was doing her thing. He was like, yeah, she was like, he was seeing other women, but I was seeing other men. Okay, okay, so you can get other men. Why is he a part of the equation? This is what I'm saying. So I could see it even if it was like you were super lonely, you know what I'm saying? You can't pull no dudes. I get it. But come on, man. You got several other guys, and this guy's on the roster. Wrong thumb. This guy's on the roster. This guy. How he make it? Come on, man. As a community, As a community, I'm going to talk to the community and then I'm going to address the world. As a community, we have to do better with allowing this type of stuff to happen, man. We got to do better. We got to do better with watching out for our kids, paying attention to how they feel. We got to do better. We have to be more of a protective mindset. And furthermore, and to go, I'm just going, I'm going to go, and we're going to go into the final thing of this run I got going on here. I just had to get on here and just speak my mind. It is my belief that if our community had its ish together, for the majority, I believe we're like on the fence, you know what I'm saying? But like it's we got a lot of decent minds out here and we got some of these guys that's just like messed up in the head and they want to do drugs and play murder music and all that stuff and promote that. They want to promote that and they want to live that. Let me say that. They want to promote that and they want to live that. Right? There's some of us that listen to music and we just know it's music. But some of us want to promote it and live it. And I just know like when we got out of slavery, we were chasing education. Having a library in your home was the thing, not a man cave with TVs and video games. Trust me, I like video games, right? But knowledge was the thing that we were chasing. And now we have gotten away from that for the majority, for the majority. And when I say majority, I mean like 90%. It would be nice to have 10% of us that are just out here acting stupid, but it doesn't seem like that. So yeah, it seems like it's glorified, our neighborhoods. I just think everything would be better if we got back to chasing knowledge, being decent and reasonable people, raising our kids right, and getting back to the core of family. Getting back to the core of family. Even if you don't have kids or plan to have kids, you are still somebody's kid. You didn't get here by no reason. So you're still somebody's kid. So you still understand the importance of family. So I don't want anybody to feel pressure like, oh, if I don't have kids, I don't have a family. No, you are somebody's child, which makes you a part of somebody's family. You somebody's niece, nephew, uncle, cousin, whatever. You are a part of a family. And we need to get back to making family and core families the goal and what's important and protecting that because we're not. Right now, everybody wants to do everybody. Everybody has a roster of everybody. You do realize, like, even when you're single, you're sharing people. It's like you get mad because your person cheated on you, right? But then when you're single, you're sharing people. Why do I say that? Because you got a roster, she got a roster. She got a roster, you got a roster. She's dating 5 guys in rotation, you're dating 5 girls in rotation. And y'all both are kind of aware that y'all got rotations. Nobody's committed. So it's just we have gotten so far away from like relationships and core values and family values that this type of crap goes on and we're protecting this clowns like this. Now I can tell you now here in good old Detroit, I seen a guy. I just saw a video a few months ago where they found out that the uncle was messing with the niece, and the family showed up and beat him down in the front yard until the police got there. No charges were filed. No charges were filed. So there are decent people that do look out for kids. So that's why I say this is mostly for, because when those men got word of it, it was a bunch of men in that yard beating that guy down for what he did. But we need to, I need my sisters, man. I need y'all to vet more properly. Don't get caught up in looks. Definitely don't get caught up in how good the SEX is. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. So don't get so caught up and hung up on that. I understand like it's important, but it ain't this important. It's not this important. It's not like it's not this important, right? Can anybody agree with me on this? You being satisfied intimately is not this important where people end up deceased. Like this is ridiculous, man. I appreciate y'all listening to me, man. I really do. I just had to get on here. This was close to my heart. And I had to get on here and talk about it. Avoid these Pookies and Ray Rays. Vet these guys out, to my sisters, man. Vet these guys out. Ask them all the questions. And if you get you a decent man in your life that's even just a friend, a cousin, an uncle, a dad, and ask them what you should be asking a man. And run them by these guys, man. If you got decent men in your life, and if you don't have a decent man in your life, find one at your job, whatever. You know who these guys are, and let them know, like, look, you seem like a decent dude. I'm not trying to flirt with you. I'm not trying to get with you, but I need your opinion on some things. Come on, man. Y'all spend all this time with these people at work. They're almost like family. Use some of these people. They will be more than happy to help you, especially if it's a man that knows he can help. But yeah, let's do better, guys. I don't know. This saddens me. I'm sad and I'm hurt about this. Um, and it enrages me. It enrages me, and I'm extremely passionate about it. But let's do better. Let's do better. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for hanging out.